she's so fine. Hell of a hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a lights my day.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What's good, guys? This story is coming out of New York. I want to thank Marie722 for sending it to me. It's coming via The Root in a very well-written article by Zach Lindley. Came out yesterday. 3 NYPD officers indicted in tow truck scheme. Officer allegedly used N-word and pointed gun at black folks for laughs. Somebody get Martin Scorsese on the line. I got a movie idea I want to pitch. Cue Tony Bennett's Rags to Riches and Ray Liotta narration. 3 New York City police officers were arrested Tuesday and charged in connection with an alleged tow truck bribery scheme that involved officers taking thousands of dollars in exchange for sending car accident victims to one towing company instead of using a database system to assign a tow truck, which is standard procedure. The officer who started the scam allegedly pressured the owners of the company to expand it into a drug trafficking operation because, freeze frame, all his life he wanted to be a gangster. From the Washington Post. Last January, New York police officer Robert Smith was about 2 months away from retiring. But before he left the department, federal prosecutors said he was set on recruiting another colleague to take over a years-long bribery scheme he ran with the help of Officer Robert Hassett. Smith and Hassett took thousands in cash from a tow truck company, according to court records, in exchange for sending victims of car accidents to the firm. Around the time he retired, Smith enlisted Officer Heather Busch, another of his colleagues from the Queens precinct, to take part in the illegal operation, the government said. The scheme reportedly jumped off in September 2016 when Smith and Hassett began assigning accident victims to a single towing company, which hasn't been identified in court records according to the Post. Their contact at the company allegedly deposited thousands of dollars into a mailbox the officers had access to. In January 2020, the 2 officers allegedly took things up a notch and sold the contact information of recent accident victims whose names they found in NYPD databases. For this, the officers received more than $7,000 paid in cash, according to prosecutors who also said that the towing company sold that same information to physical therapists and personal injury attorneys. So Smith, Hassett, and Busch, who will definitely be played in the movie by Paul Sorvino, Steve Buscemi, and Joe Pantoliano, respectively, were charged with multiple counts of bribery and conspiracy. And because no New York-based crime drama would be complete without racist white folks slinging around racial epithets in order to underscore their contempt for black folks, prosecutors said that Smith, quote, repeatedly used the N-word and expressed his support for the Ku Klux Klan, end quote, the Post reports. Prosecutors also accused Smith of threatening to, quote, shoot, end quote, his contact at the towing company if he turned out to be a, quote, rat, end quote. Meanwhile, Joe Pesci was just trying to enjoy himself at the bar when Billy Batts told him to, quote, go get your fucking shine box, end quote. And all hell broke loose as Pesci and Robert De Niro stomped the shit. Sorry, that's a different movie. In fact, this plot is starting to drag a bit. I mean, nobody has even gotten whacked yet, and there's just no way Scorsese is going to fill 2.5 hours of screen time with this weak-ass tow truck scheme. So let's move on to the drugs. More from the Post. As Smith prepared to retire, he allegedly recruited Busch in March of 2020 in exchange for more than $1,000 from the tow firm. Around that same time, Smith was also pressuring the tow company to help him set up a deal to transport drugs, prosecutors said. His contact eventually introduced him to an unnamed drug organization in June of 2020. Smith allegedly met with 2 of the organization's drug traffickers about setting up a deal. In July of 2020, Smith drove from Uniondale, New York to Queens to give someone a bag containing a kilogram of heroin while carrying his weapon, federal prosecutors said, in exchange for roughly $1,200 in cash. All 3 officers appeared in court Tuesday of this week after their arrest. Smith pleaded not guilty, and prosecutors argued that he shouldn't be released because he, quote, poses a significant danger to the community and a flight risk, end quote. Prosecutors also accused Smith of shaking down and robbing civilians while on duty. Prosecutors said that Smith bragged about his side shakedown hustle to other officers via text message. Quote, "Bro, I robbed everyone," prosecutors said he texted in reference to, quote, individuals and businesses he tricked as part of his bribery scheme, end quote, the Post reports. In another text, he allegedly bragged about pointing his gun at black folks just for shits and giggles. Quote, "Bro, I pointed my gun out the window now at N-word and watched their reaction and drive away," Smith texted according to prosecutors. "Hilarious," end quote. Quote, "Now the real Smith will shine," he allegedly wrote in another text. "I even shaved my head. Klan," end quote. According to the Post, the three officers are due back in court on May the 19th. Now off to Hollywood. Very well written article, especially if you like gangster movies like I do. What a despicable bunch of officers. These are the bad apples that need to be thrown out. And as they say, one bad apple ruins the bunch. True, true, true. I'm telling you. But these are the folks that were patrolling and protecting and serving the streets of New York. Come on, man. Got to do better. Got to do better. Ridiculous. And I would look at every single case that any of those three people touched. Every single case. I'm going to end this story on that note. Thanks for watching, guys.